I'm Deja Malone, daughter, wife, sister, friend, St. Louis native, alumni of Alabama Agriculture and Mechanical University. I'm a free spirit. I just like being me. I work for the federal government at the Department of Agriculture, and I work in the geospatial department. And I just help make stuff make sense to people because a lot of that language in the government, it confuses people. So I just make it make sense, and I do a lot of project management with the different projects that go on in my agency. So, what I'm passionate about, people, specifically people that look like me, more specifically young people, um, high school students, early college students. I think that I identify with them very well. I think that because I was once in their shoes recently, that I kind of can gauge what's needed in the moment, or just provide a listening ear to them. It's a lot of different things that go on when you are between the ages of 14 and 24, and I use that huge gap because you start high school at 24 and you may graduate from college by the time you're 24. So between a 10-year span, there's different things that go on. There's social and emotional. There's trying to figure out who you want to be for the rest of your life, even though you don't have to figure that out at 24, or you don't have to know that at 18. I think it's just a lot of different nuances in understanding who you are as a Black person, as a young Black person, and as a person who wants to go to college or is in a society that's pushing post-secondary education. So I just like to be in their realm of being an ear to them and providing as many resources as possible. So when I say resources, because that's a buzzword, specifically college access resources. So understanding what it means to apply for school from a financial standpoint, understanding that when you get to a university, what is it going to look like for you? Or if you're not going off to school right away, let's set a plan in place as to how you want to get there, or what are you doing after you graduate. So resources in the space of knowing what do I want to do once I graduate from high school, and how do I need to get there, and then how am I going to get through that process of starting school and graduating, or starting my post-secondary endeavor and graduating from that. So whether you decide to go to the police academy and you want to just do professional development on the side, or you decide to start off at a community college and you graduate from there, and then you want to pursue a four-year university. So just resources in the space of setting a plan, setting goals, and knowing how you're gonna follow through with that. Me coincidentally was Inspire STL. It's an organization that is near and dear to my heart and will forever be. My brother was one of the 15 or 19 students in the first cohort of the organization. And Inspire STL, and I don't want to use the past tense, it is an educational nonprofit that was founded in St. Louis, Missouri by 4 TFA alum. And basically what their goal was to provide the to and through for students who were projected to not graduate from college. And so they had a group of 30 students. Out of those 30 students, only one was projected to graduate from college that was first generation college student. So out of that formed an organization that developed different resources for students in the area of self-advocacy, college and career readiness. What else? It was 7 different facets that we focused on, but those are the 2 that really spoke to me. And so I started working there after I graduated from A&M as an AmeriCorps State member. I had a group of 30 scholars and I started working there at the end of 2014. I latched on to them, and they became my babies. And I really just felt like I was passionate about making sure that they had everything that they needed in order to succeed, because I know what it looked like for me as a first gen student, but also knowing what I knew then. I wish somebody would have told me going off to school, and I had been fresh out of school, so I was ready to share with them, this is what's going on campus, here's what you should do, things like that. So out of that, I spent 4 years with them. And I've seen a lot of them go off to college, because some of them, they were sophomores in high school at the time. I've seen a lot of them go off to college, and now they're coming to college completion, and it's so rewarding to see that. And so after I transitioned out of that role, or in the midst of me getting ready to transition out of their role, I was like, I think that this is important, and I think other people should know about it. And not just that, but I had did work in California after I did AmeriCorps with another organization called Rock Solid, and I got a chance to work with students on the West Coast and saw the different needs that they needed as well. So I'm like, this could be coastal. Like, this could be, something that's spread, or not coastal, but it could be universal. This could be something that's spread. And yeah, there are organizations that do college access, or that say they do college access, and they provide resources to students, but there's students that are still getting left in the cracks, that are not receiving adequate information on how to really handle this monster of college for first gen students. And so in December of 2017, I remember just sitting on my couch, and I was just like, I want to continue this, but I want to continue it in a way where it doesn't feel like I have to be obligated to do it a certain way, and I want it to be accessible for free, and I want it to be true to who I am. And so that's where the first part of True Collegiate came from, because I feel like in order to understand like college, or just who you are as a person that's pursuing something, you got to be true to what that is. And so the collegiate part came from because I wanted to provide a service to students that were pursuing higher education. And so that's where True Collegiate came from. I decided to mush it into one word because it's mine. And so from that, I just kind of started researching and putting college facts on Instagram. I created a Facebook, and it was kind of like small scale at the beginning, because I didn't really know where I wanted to go with it. And so now, fast forwarding 2 years later, where I still have relationships with my other students, I partner with my husband, who is a director of college counseling at a school, and we've received grants. We've given out our first scholarship. So just seeing how it has grown is really rewarding. And even sitting here just having this conversation, like, I'm in awe of what is being done, because it's not my doing at all. This is something that God placed on my heart to do. And I'm just trying to be obedient. It's times where I feel like I don't feel like doing this because I'm so tired from doing other things, but I know it needs to be done. I know that it's necessary. To give an overview of what True Collegiate is, it's an organization or a movement or what have you, but we're an organization that helps specifically African American students. That's our target, because we look like them. So we help them in high school and early college, more so high school, sophomore, junior, and senior year, to be able to go through the college access process. And what I mean by that is applying for FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, understanding what their financial profiles look like, what it is projected to look like for them if they take out loans, the different type of student aid, private loans, things like that. Really getting them to understand their financial profile, and also getting them to understand what resources are available on campus. So as a first gen student, and we are coming into an age where some students may not be first gen anymore because we getting up there. So our parents may have degrees, and then, people that are a little older than us, they may have students that are getting ready to go to college, so they may be second gen. However, things are changing on college campuses. So getting them to understand what is it going to look like them for once they go off to school. So what I mean by that is what resources are available on campus to assist them with career, social and emotional existence. So whether they have counseling department or there's a health and wellness center, and just making sure they know how to utilize that. Because even though we know it's there, you pay for it in your tuition, how come you aren't using it? And so being as proactive as possible and getting them to be as proactive as possible and becoming leaders and self-advocates is really what we are trying to accomplish with our overall intent with young African American people. I think it's important because it's always going to be somebody that's left out, right? Like how there's so many different organizations that could fall under the same category we all have the same end goal, right? We want to help Black students. We want to help students of color. We want to help them understand one of the main reasons why students can't persist to school is financial. We all want to do that, but all of us can't reach everybody. And so it has to be organizations that coexist at the same time. Because anytime that I feel like this may not be as necessary anymore, or it's something that we may need to switch up, I get confirmation from him to let me know that no, you're doing the right thing. You're doing exactly what I need you to do because I assigned you to these group of people. You don't have to reach thousands, but this specific group at this specific time, this is who I assigned you to, and they need this information. And that's why it's important, because it's always going to be somebody that needs help in this arena. I don't care how many years we go ahead, how many apps we create, how much technology is in place. When it comes to applying for college, that within itself creates anxiety, especially for people that look like you and me, because in a society that is so institutionalized when it comes to even thinking about taking out a loan, or you already being profiled. It's just like, it's hard. So it's like, it's necessary for us to continue to do this work. My challenge that I came to know when I graduated from college was that I was not knowledgeable about this at all. I have a mom that advocates for me, and was indirectly a helicopter parent because she wanted the best for me, because she wanted me to not have to worry about applying for financial aid or to take care of the FAFSA. But indirectly, that was a crush for me because I didn't know anything when I graduated. I didn't know how to complete my FAFSA because she had did it for me, and she didn't want me to worry about it. So I didn't even know what my award letter looked like. I saw it freshman year, and then I never looked at it again. And so when I applied to grad school, I did everything on my own. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it was like I was going off to college to get a bachelor's again, but I was going to get my master's. Because I was ignorant to a lot of the information because my mom, she was there to do all of it for me. And again, I thank her for that. But also, like, parents need to know that it's important for them to allow their students to understand what it is that they're walking into, and to do it together instead of doing it for them, because that creates a barrier for that child. One, it's going to be an expectation that the parent is going to do it. And let's just say, God forbid, anything happens to the parent while the student is in school, they're not going to know what to do. So that could be a thing where they stop out and take off the semester, or the semester turns into a year or two. Like, it's really important that the student knows how to do the simplest thing is complete a FAFSA, or as simple as going to the financial aid office and asking, can you explain this to me? Or knowing the different departments to go to on campus to handle certain discrepancies. Yeah. those are issues that I ran into personally, because I would always call my mom like, I don't know what to do, I'm frustrated, where do I need to go? And she'll take time out of her day at work and figure out for me. So she was my advocate and also my crutch. So it's extremely important for people to know, like, that they are a part of someone's village. And when you think about college counselors at high schools, that's like another layer, because this is where the student spends 4 years before they are getting ready to embark on one of the most life-changing things in their life. They're figuring out who they want to be for the rest of their life. So they say that's what college is about. And a lot of college counselors don't take that seriously, and their caseloads are too large. So you have schools where there's a college counselor with a caseload of 300 seniors for larger high schools. You can't adequately provide what's needed for all of those seniors, because there may be 100 seniors who are critical that may need specific help in the area of financial aid. There may be another 100 seniors that may need help figuring out what schools to go to as far based on distance. There may be another 50 that they need help just understanding this whole process. So one person cannot divide themselves into two, and they surely cannot divide themselves into 300 and provide the direct service that's needed for students that look like us. And we need more resources, because things are taken away from us on the way to school, in our neighborhoods, in the way we grew up, like in society. Once we step outside that school door, it's whatever goes. That's supposed to be our safety net. And so it's important for the college counselor to be as invested in the seniors, juniors, or whatever the caseload is. It's important. Like, that's, yeah. You have some college counselors that are really invested and they're overworked and their department is under-resourced and they can't really do all they want to do. And then you have others whose department is fully staffed and they are like providing mediocre service to their students, but they getting paid the big bucks. And these students going off to school in the fall and they coming back home. But they don't care, because they did what they were supposed to do. They got 100% college acceptance. But did your students finish first semester? Did they finish the first year? What does it look like for them to graduate in the next 4 to 6 years? They don't know. So it's important for the college counselors to be as invested in and understand like what role they play in that student's village. Everybody's a stakeholder when it comes to this process, whether they want to be or not. I like to play like the liaison. I like to just be the floater and kind of provide assistance where it's needed. If it's an answer that I don't know the question to, I'll either connect you to the resource or I'll try my hardest to find the answer. If it's an area where I'm knowledgeable about, I'll schedule time to sit down with you, to coach you through it, to walk you through it. I can learn things from you, you can learn things from me. We working together, it's teamwork. It's not just me telling you something, it's us working together for your good. I wear a lot of hats. So I just feel like that's just, I try to be the executor and the person that creates this idea of like follow through for the students. So I'm at the end of the tunnel, or I can be in the middle, or I can be at the beginning. Wherever they choose to have me, that's where I'm happy to be. And it's a lot of Black people that's doing the work in whatever avenue that they decide to use as their platform to reach their target audience. We all gotta work together. And what makes me so passionate is because I know that I'm not here for me. My purpose is for somebody else. And that's what keeps me going. This is not about me at all. It's never been about me. I'm just here existing in this body to be able to do what I need to do for whom I'm assigned to and who is assigned to me. So that's what keeps me passionate about it, because I know like it has a greater purpose of impact. And it's not about me. It never has been. And I carry that not just in this work, but in my daily life, like how I operate as a human being. It's never about me. It's always about other people. So yeah, that's what makes me passionate about it, because I'm doing it out of love. My husband, he inspires me a lot. I don't know if he realizes how much he inspires me, but he does. On the way to work every morning, he asks me questions at 6 o'clock in the morning, even though I don't feel like answering them. It gets my brain going. Like questions like, what you got planned for today? What's your day look like? What's your schedule look like? Or what do you have to tackle today? And even though I don't want to think about it until I step into work, it kind of makes me plan, or kind of gets my brain going. And like when I wake up, he's up reading. I turn over and he's like reading articles of news, stories, all of that stuff. And I just be like, man, like I bet you his brain is just like, it's so many ideas bouncing from back and forth. And so he inspires me. My family, specifically my immediate family, my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers, they inspire me. A lot of what I do is for them. My younger brother, who just graduated from college, he inspires me a lot. I love his work ethic. He's just great. Like, he's such a cool dude. And my baby brother, he's a genius. I'm so blessed to have him, to be able to allow me to see stuff from a different lens through his eyes. And then my parents, because they sacrificed everything for me. Like, my mom had me when she was 19. She could have easily been like, or just gave me to my grandparents and went off to school. But she inspired me for that reason, because her selflessness showed at that moment when she decided to just give everything to us. One of my biggest obstacles that I still work on daily is saying no. Like, it's okay to say no. It's cool to say no. Like, you don't have to be a yes girl. And it was hard for me to accept that, because I thought saying yes equated to me being a great person. Well, really, no, it does not. You don't have to overexert yourself to prove that you are a certain type of individual to somebody, or that you're loyal, or that you care about somebody. So that has been, because I've been saying no. I be saying no, and I be like, yeah, you said no, and it feels good to say no, because times that I've said yes, I really meant no. So that has been an obstacle, but I'm grateful to God that He has given me the courage to say no in certain spaces where I need to. I guess it goes along with saying no, but trying to be everything for everybody, like, because I'm so passionate about being there for people, and a lot of times that can be draining on me because I haven't taken care of me first. So I guess this falls under the umbrella of self-care, saying no, and then trying to be everything for everybody. Like when somebody calls me or they need me to do something, not recognizing the strain that it may put on me, or the lack of priority that I've made myself for things that I have to do or set out to do because I want to put them first. So, yeah. Create what you like and don't base it off of anyone else. And as easy as that sounded coming out of my mouth, every day, because of the social media age that we live in, it's so easy to fall victim to social comparison theory, where we are looking at our peers or looking at other people and like, man, I should do this, or it'd be dope if I do that. Or you go after something and you're not even passionate about it, you're just doing it because Joe is doing it, or and it's like you're not passionate about it and you're not a creative because you copying. Creators don't copy. That's what I would say. And it's hard not to copy because we all have stuff that we can take from each other, right? So like in fashion, we see something cute and we be like, oh, I'll take that piece. That's not what I mean by that. I'm more something like whatever's coming from your core that you want to create, that's your baby, that's yours for a reason. It was put on your spirit for a reason. Motivate. I would say stay motivated in whatever it is that you're doing. You asked me earlier what has been one of my obstacles, and that will be one of them as well. Like staying motivated when certain things don't turn out the way that you want them to, or stuff is not moving fast enough, or you just get weary in the slow motion of it all. Like stay motivated and just keep going. Like it's not a race. So I'm saying that, but I'm also telling myself that at the same time. It's like I said, it's good to look back and reflect to see where I've started and where I am now, and knowing that I have so much more to learn and so much more to do within this work. But just to be able to reflect on the past 2 years and be like, man, like I really came a long way. Like we've really came a long way. So stay motivated, and then inspire. Somebody's watching you, regardless of like whether you may think so or not. And somebody that looks up to you, somebody that's looking at you like, man, she's so dope, or he's so cool, or I really like what they're doing. Regardless if you can see the impact that you're having, you are inspiring somebody. And you don't have to see it to be inspiring somebody. You just being a creative, staying motivated. See how I just did that? You are inspiring somebody. Like all those are tying into one another, and you just being you and doing what you're passionate about, that inspires people. Whether it's 30 people, whether it's 20, 10, 1,000, it's inspiring somebody. It's inspiring who it was intended to inspire in that moment. First of all, like, this is a dope way to allow people to use their voices, so thank you for that. I think that it's important for us to use our mics daily, in every space possible that we are inclined to do so. So it's a time and a place for everything, but that nudge that you feel about speaking out on certain things, or saying how you feel about a certain situation, or advocating for a certain cause or a certain individual or a topic or what have you, it's important that your voice is heard, because you may be the change factor for that specific thing that you are using your mic for. We're not supposed to dim our lights. And I know me, I dim my light sometimes. I was trying to find a better word because I was going to say a lot, but I don't anymore. I used to. But now, every chance I get, I'm up at the mic to say what I feel, if it's the right time to do so. It's important to utilize our voices